and welcome to F1 RSP's Road Atlanta track guide. As the intro said, this is America. I still have not been paid yet. I'm working here at double shift now. Let's just get this track guide started, eh? Start you off with turn 1. This is a fast sweeping right-hander. So for Group 3 standards, you're going to be going about 240 kilometers an hour. Editors would probably help us in the Imperial system. This orange painted section of the barrier on your left side is going to be a braking point. You're going to be in 5th gear for most cars. I don't think any cars in this series is going to have 7 gears. So 5th gear, you're going to tap the brakes or just trail brake and try to get down to about 190, 180 kilometers an hour in 4th gear. And when you're mid-corner here now, about, depending on your entry angle, mid-corner, using the rumble strips on your right side as the indicator of when to get on the throttle, about middle to the ending of it, you want to get on the throttle. Be careful on your exit, because the exit rumble will only save you so much. If you as much as dip a millimeter of a tire onto the grass, you're going to understeer, and there's a barrier waiting right there for you. So following that corner, over the crest, there is a blind left-hander. You're going to want to put your car on the right side where the pit line is, exiting out of turn 1. Usually just have your car in the middle of the track so you can get an easier time seeing the corner, seeing the curvature of the crest and the corner. You want to be looking to the left or be on the left side. And the starting of the rumble strip here will be your braking point again. You're going to be in 4th gear because you don't want to upshift going up a hill. You'll lose torque. You'll downshift to about 2nd gear, be at about 140 kilometers an hour. Now, penalty zone right here. You can get easy penalties by just cutting too much of this curbing. Curbing right over the crest, another blind corner. You have to go with enough speed, but at the same time enough control of the vehicle to not get a penalty here. Just keep your outside tires at least on the yellow line. Try not to go past it because you will get a penalty. It's very easy to get a penalty right here. Now as you're over the curbing, 3rd gear going down the hill, flat out, flat out, flat out. Now, most people might think, okay, we're going downhill, there's a right turn coming up. It's a blind corner, so you don't know how tight it really is. But you can trust me, all this flat out. Just don't make the mistake of placing your car too much to the left side and turning too late. You want to be roughly in the middle of the track, and just before the starting of the rumble strip on your left, you want to start turning in. With the speed that you're going with at about 230 kilometers an hour, the car will turn in. Be careful in mid-engine cars. That curb on your right side as you go downhill can get your car airborne and you'll lose all front traction and drift off wide on the left side. Possibly get a penalty, get dirty tires, and lose a lot of time. Now this left turn going up the hill. The start of the rumble strip right behind me. That's your braking point. To be safe, you can brake before it and place your right tires on the rumble strips a little bit past it. Not too much, don't overdo with the grass because if you get dirty tires, your car will just overstand the exit. Just rear-wheel drive cars are dealing with. Gonna be about 3rd gear on the exit, about 150 kilometers an hour or so. And as you come past the apex, start getting on the throttle. As you reach the exit curve here, the penalty zone is if you put your inside tires now past the yellow line or the blue and yellow rumble strip. If that goes past it, or say you go past this white line, you're going to get a penalty. Just keep the left side of the car within the track limits and carry as much speed as you can on exit. It's an uphill, so you want to get your throttle as early as possible. Now we have a downhill, going into an uphill braking zone. As it's uphill, you have gravity going with you, so it'll help to slow the car down a little bit better. You can brake it later. If you can look a little bit closely to the track, there is like, say, an oil mark or leftover tire tread on the track. Use this as your reference point. It's very safe to do so because if you go a bit too late, like say there's a line right below my car or the billboard on your left, switchboard on your left there, the white lines in the middle of the track, it's gonna be too late. You're gonna either drift wide, cook your tires, or just send yourself right off the track into the barrier. So try to keep your eyes on the road, middle of the track here. Even to you can barely see a 300 board on the left side. Right here will be a braking point. It'll come down from fifth gear down to second gear. Or third gear. Now keep it tight. There's also banking here, so the banking will help the car turn in and hold the narrow line as you try to stick to the apex. Now exiting up on the top of the crest is a right-hander, so you want to place the car on the left side to prepare for the corner. Just follow the line that you can see on the road. Now here, again another blind corner, so you want to be prepared for it. There is no like markers per se around the track. Just have to look at the road itself. And directly in front of me there is a sort of line. Again, like tire marks, oil marks, something like that. You're gonna brake there and come down from fourth gear down to second gear and coast. This curbing, as on the top of a crest, it can unsettle the car very easily and you can get the rear end loose and not be able to pick up traction to exit as fast as possible. So be sparing using the curbing on the apex. Use as much as you can manage front engine cars. Feel free to use the mid engine cars. Try to avoid it, but stay close. And get in the throttle as soon as you get past the rumble strip, or even in the middle of the apex. Roll onto the throttle, exit wide, use all of the curbing. Be careful, if you use the curbing for too long, there is a transition from the rumble strip to the grass, and that will impact your exit. So we maximize our exit out of that double hairpin onto the straightaway. There's a lot of time to begin by maximizing your exit speeds. It's a penalty zone on the straightaway. So all those penalty zones I've been telling you about around the track, try to take heed of my advice and avoid them as best you can because getting a penalty on a straightaway is a massive time loss, especially on such a small track. It's barely any room to even make overtakes. So we're on the straightaway now. We're going to be in top gear, about 260 kilometers an hour or so. We're coming downhill into a braking zone, so we're going to be braking a little bit earlier. Roughly where these Michelin boards are on the right and left, the 200 board if you even want to look at that. That's going to be your braking marker. You're going to come down from 6th gear down to 2nd gear. About the start of the rumble strip, you're going to start rolling off of the brakes, trail braking as you turn into the corner. When you're at the middle of the track or so, facing the apex, you're going to be off the brakes and start rolling onto the throttle a little bit to get the weight shifted to the rear and get some sort of traction. Now you have an uphill right-hander in the middle of the chicane. You want to use as much of the curbing as possible. Take the corner as straight as possible to start accelerating. If you use too much of the curbing, there's grass waiting for you right there. And it's a bit bumpy as well as you're going uphill, so it's easy just to make the car come off the ground and start to drift wide. On the exit curbing here, the rumble strips very bumpy. It's really noticeable. There's also like a sort of drain on the exit of the rumble strip here. You can get the car in this divot. If you manage to stay there, good. Just be careful coming out now, because at the end of the rumble strip there's grass, and your car will understay as soon as you touch that grass coming from concrete. So try to avoid this bit of the curb if you can. Otherwise, just start turning right and pointing the car towards the right side here. This is coming over a crest, so it is a blind corner. Point the car straight ahead, dead ahead. You'll see the pit line start to show itself. Now again, some people, they take this line too narrow. You see there's the darker bit of the track. It shows where cars were passing. You want to stay on this line. Don't take it too narrow where the track is all light and gray. You want to stay where it's black. Where you see all the rubber has been layered onto the track. I personally like to use the curbing on this left side, place the car on it just as an indicator that I'm taking the widest entry into this corner as possible, because it is a little bit tricky of a corner here coming back to the start finish, because when you're going at this about 230 kilometers an hour, there is a sort of climb you have to make going over this curbing. Some people can get away with cutting the curb and coming as narrow as possible to the start finish line, which, if you can manage front engine cars, go right ahead. Take all advantage of it. I encourage it. Take advantage of all the track limits that Plymouth gives us. But I made a mid-engine car in the Audi. Well, some people need Porsche. You want to avoid here and just take a late apex if you want to use the curbing. Otherwise, just avoid the curbing entirely, because you will just understeer, come wide, the car can lose traction and spin, or you'll just dirty up your outside tires, leading you back onto the following up lap for turn one, which is when it causes you to understeer and lose a lot of time. But yeah, that's the entire track. It's a short track. It's roughly like a minute and 17 seconds long on average. It's a little bit of demonstration. Be confident with the track. There's lots of banking here. On the top of the crest, start lifting, add rumble strippy brake, turn in, don't cut the corner. Coming downhill, turn early, flat out, brake for the rumble strip, and stay within the track limits. Keep your inside tires on the inside of the curbing, and you'll avoid getting any penalties. That's about it for the track guide. I hope this helps. I hope it proves valuable to whatever you need it for this season of NHR or any future races that they may be doing. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.